Stream is live. The stream is live. Hey, everybody. Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. Just kind of getting everything rearranged as we wait for CouchBot to fire off. I would say I hope you've had a good weekend, but probably been pretty tense, regardless of which side of the aisle you sit on. Most of you are spread out all across the nation, world. I see you over there, Rebecca. And well, let's be honest. There's a turmoil literally everywhere. So that's going to seep into your ability to focus on what's in front of you, and frankly, that's okay. That's okay. If you felt distracted by everything going on, if you felt like you couldn't get anything done because your head was just so focused on the news, I'm right there with you. It took me all weekend to produce one video. It took me all weekend. So I feel you. I recognize the it's a worthy distraction, but it is a distraction when you're trying to focus on self-improvement and pushing yourself to that next level. Fact is, there could be a distraction in anything. Some distractions are more worthy than others. Oftentimes I'll get into these little rhythms, when life was normal, when we had sporting events and things like that. I would have to kind of stop myself and say, you know what, there could be a reason to watch TV every night, but that doesn't mean that we're going to get our work done. And I'm almost to the same point with pandemic, now protest. It's like, I see it, I respect it, but I still got to get my work done. So I feel you. I recognize that I struggle with the same exact things. Now, obviously, I don't struggle with the same things that the people that are, on the other side of that protest, the people that are out there protesting. I got to recognize that, I have certain privileges that they don't have, and I support those causes. I support the right for equality. One of the big things that I personally believe is, UBI, Universal Basic Income. Lift all boats, level that out. I think that that would do a lot of good for a lot of people, particularly on the lower end of the spectrum, and the people that are most disenfranchised. But unfortunately, we got to put our votes in the right spot. Okay. So, all that said, CouchBot did fire. So while I take a second to adjust my seat, we will get this underway because we have a very, very busy morning. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, new Pragmatic. It is time for the feedback loop, where I take your work submissions and I give them a thorough grilling. We've got a lot of people in here this morning. Eve is in here, Chelsea's in here, Rebecca's in here, Lisa's in here, all moving in different directions, which is good. And we're just gonna jump right into it because, frankly, you've got news to watch and stuff. So I'm gonna jump along and let's get this started. All right, so we're gonna start here with Rebecca. She's got some questions here. She's trying to figure out what's gone wrong with her Silly Candy case study. This is a case study that Rebecca did a while back, and as always, what I like to do is I like to start from the top down, and begin working on what might have broken. So let's go ahead and get over here to. She says she pushed up all of her code. VS Code. Oh, apparently I had shut it down. All right, well, Rebecca's right there. We'll go ahead and get in here. I didn't remember shutting down VS Code, but maybe I did. Let's check the status on that. If everything is up to date. We'll pull. Obviously, Rebecca's done a bit of work here. I'm just going to go live and see what we've got. Again, I haven't looked at this, well, actually, I've looked at Rebecca's portfolio recently, but I have not looked at Silicandy in a while. So here's Silicandy, and let's go ahead and go in here and read the case study. So there's probably some broken stuff in here, and that's okay. Right now we're just taking a look at what we've got, and it looks like the grid structure, because if I remember correctly, Rebecca, you're using CSS grid. Yeah, it looks like the grid structure got blown up. So let's go up here and just kind of figure out what's going on. Again, I like to really get in here and look at this. I like to look at the structure of this. So here we go. We got a 2-column container here, and this container is 2FR, 1FR, but I betcha this image is blowing up. So there's the full width. Let's just say width is 100%. Okay, so the image, it says full width is on here, but it's for some reason it says width style width 100%. So I'm not sure why width is not being applied to the image. But right away when we do that, it fixes, this breakdown, because this is now aligned. You can tell that whatever you've built here is now aligned. And then as you come down, if I had to bet, I'm going to come in here on this image. I'll say width 100%. And sure enough, now this logo breakdown is it looks like the grid structure is supposed to go the other way. So it looks like the problem here is with your images, Rebecca. So let's go in. Let's just go into the code and see if we can find the problem here with Silicandy. And I'm just gonna close some of these classes that I know we don't need. I guess we got to get in here and get to some of these. So there's Silicandy. That's the hero image. It's the thing across the top. I'm going to go ahead and close that section because that's the intro. We want this Silicandy business. And again, thank you for naming these. Yeah, so it says Silicandy full width, class full width. So let's figure out what's going on there. There's full width, full comma, full width. So that missing comma. So you've got some things around your site. You've got a class called full. You got a class called full width. I could make an argument to, hey, can you please pick one of the two, because they're doing the same thing. But I'm not going to do that right now because that would require us to comb through the entire site. But the comma, previously, this was saying you need a class of full and full width to get width 100%. Now it's just saying if you've got full or full width, you get a class of 100%. Let's save that. Let's come back over, and now this is a lot closer to what I believe you're going for. Yeah, it looks like it's fixed. Okay, solid. We still got some work to do down here, but the big busted part is, which was above, is now fixed. So that's good. That feels like progress. Let's take a look here at more questions. And I'm just gonna leave a note here. This was a CSS issue with on line, what was it? Oh yeah, line 42 of, is that style? Yeah, on line 42 of style.css. All right. Is there time to look at your my click shift case study? Well, yeah, of course there is. Let's figure out where it be. As I give everybody like whiplash going around your site. Let's see here. Is it down here? Let's see. My click shift case study. Okay, so I'm just kind of taking a quick overview, looking at it. So my click shift was created by the head of HR at a nursing home. His initial, I don't know, I look at this and I think to myself, his initial goal, was to make with the project was solely, I think solely is misspelled, to make his work more efficient. So I would say my client created my click shift when they were the head of HR at a nursing home. The initial goal of the project was simply to make their work more efficient. Within a couple of months of using it, my client converted the entire nursing home chain into clients. So there's like some wordsmithing there that I think would benefit it. But let's keep going. The app had one large client that storage and upkeep on them. Okay, so pivot focused on only one client, the nursing home chain. Focused on with only one account, the nursing home chain. My client found himself spending a lot of money on storage and upkeep. Then a disagreement with that saw the nursing home chain drop or migrate away from the platform or drop the app, resulting in an overnight loss for my client. The experience made him decide to pivot to focus on small. This experience led to a pivot with a focus on small to mid-sized business owners. He wanted to move away from healthcare so as not to have to rely on one client. The migration away from healthcare would provide him with a broader potential addressable market. That's when I was approached to do competitive research, and to identify a new set of potential users. I was asked to research what products his new target users were using, and determine what features he could change or add for them. So a new set of potential users. This led to research. So I think I would rephrase this because yes, you're talking about new users and new products and new users and new products twice, because it says here, when the app owner approached me to when I was approached by the client to do initial competitive research, it was clear that we were needing to identify both new users and the products that they used, and from there we could determine what features needed to be added to the existing application. So there's a lot of work on that last paragraph because it's kind of looping around on itself, but I do think that if you can focus on cleaning up the product and the pivot, that will likely lead to some good things. Here it says the app owner. Is there, and it's a quote, is there a way to get their name in here so you can like see the words from them, instead of identifying them so like ambiguously? I think it would be better. I would trust the case study more. Additionally, I think if you don't have to use this label. If you had their name, it would be pretty clear it's a quote, and then you could like maybe use some line work, or you could just come in here and give it some space around it, to like help it stand out, because this bit of information is completely different from this. This is you talking, this is them talking. This should feel like another voice has come into the discussion, and right now it just doesn't. I'm not saying it's bad information. It's just I need it to feel like another voice. The competition. So we've talked about this before. So three main players in the space are Kronos, Workday, and Ultimate Software. These companies own the vast majority of the client's new target market of large to mid-size. So I think you need to identify like the vast majority of the client's new target market, which is mid to large size companies. I think I would flip this around so it follows the order of the logos up here, because you've already started Kronos, Workday, Ultimate Software. I would say Kronos can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, $5,000 to $100,000 per business, per user, per employee. I need some sort of clarifying, because you've got this down here. It says Workday cost between $100 to $200 per user per year. UltraPro is the lowest of all three, charging $600 per year for every 5 users. This is like an interesting math problem, because you need to have like a baseline that, sorry, I just nailed the microphone. You need to have like a baseline that helps you kind of level these out, because in my head I have no idea what Kronos is. I know it sounds expensive, but if it's $100K per year for every 1,000 users, it actually could be cheaper than some of these other options. So I need that. I need to know what that 5 to 100K covers, and it's great. You've got Ultra Pro there, Workday per user per year, like those work out. Kronos is the one that's missing, like that connecting tissue to the others. But I'd still flip the order around: Kronos, Workday, and then Ultra Pro, because you've already started Kronos, Workday, and Ultra Pro. Like I want to see it in that order as we go down. Um, Competitive analysis showed these giants are not necessarily ideal for smaller companies because they're more detailed and potentially complicated. Um, the competitive analysis showed that these giants are not necessarily ideal for smaller companies, um, because their detailed offerings do a lot more than most small businesses need, and are quite complicated, um, and overwhelm the small business user. Um, like there's some wordsmithing there, because potentially complicated, it is, I think the word overwhelm could be beneficial there, because it's you know it's not like they don't become potentially complicated. They just simply overwhelm users that don't need all of those things. Like it's still the same product, um, but it's just overkill. Um, Both the competitive analysis and user feedback on these products strongly showed. Both the competitive analysis and user feedback showed that mobile first mobile first seems to be very important to customers in this space. Um, Both the competitive analysis and user feedback um, suggested that a mobile first strategy would resonate with customers in this space. Again, just a bit of wordsmithing. So that should get you started. I do think that like we're about midway down in this thing now. I want to see because I know your conclusion and your users is down here, and we're already down here in a competitive analysis. I want to kind of see what you do here with the beginning. So I do think in overhauling that, it will impact how we do some of this other as we go. So I'm going to kick that back over to you, and we'll see where we end up with it. Just checking feedback loops to make sure nobody else is run in. All right. So we're going to go to Chelsea now. Chelsea's working on Active Weekends. And Active Weekends is an interesting project, because this is really focused on social distancing. Active Weekends is basically all of the regional sports groups that you see playing softball in your city parks, organizing rec leagues that play basketball, or touch football. Think about touch football. That sounds dangerous immediately, because now, I mean, how do you do that? How do you grab the flags? I mean, oh, here's your flags. I'm covering you in COVID now. This is all really looking at how our interactions are impacted. How do we play competitive sports against one another without risking COVID? These activities are all, regardless of what it is, these activities are on some form of modification, and nobody has figured it out yet. There are no wrong answers here, is what I'm telling you, Chelsea. This is an exercise in figuring out what's possible. Okay? So with that, you've got some clarifying questions. Which region is it? Well, the region is yours. That part is stated in the exercise setup. Um, you mentioned preparing for the upcoming season, and what Chelsea's asking here is related to, you're going to get statements like this from clients all the time. They're looking for help. They're saying we need to build this, or we need you to perform research, and here's what we're trying to figure out. You have to immediately go back and say, okay, I need more information because I've read your brief and that's great, but now I've identified some questions that I have that are going to help me do my job, help me figure out what it is I need to go do first based on what you're trying to figure out. Mention the preparing for the upcoming season. Does this mean the platform isn't year-round? When is the upcoming season? What's the timeline leading up to the season? So, when these leagues happen, they switch sports typically. Like you'll have flag football in the fall. You'll have basketball in the winter, or volleyball in the winter. You'll have even kickball or dodgeball. Dodgeball is another one. God, I can't imagine like grabbing the ball and chucking it at somebody, and then the ball hits you and the COVID just explodes off your body. It sounds really terrible now that I think about it. Bowling leagues, where everybody touches the ball and rolls it down. We've already said basketball. Baseball, softball. That's big 16-inch softballs that you don't even play with a glove. You just kind of like catch it like this because it's so massive. And then there's road races. There's cycling. There is swimming. There is running, like this running road races, the stuff that I personally do. So the question is, when they talk about upcoming season, well, if it's June now, they're not talking about baseball. They're talking about football. They're talking about basketball, something that's coming up in a couple of months. And this is meant to be rolling because everybody's starting it at different times. But you're asking, that's the right question. Is this platform only for outdoor activities? And the answer there is no. We've identified just in this conversation several: basketball, volleyball. Although volleyball could be outside, so could basketball. Bowling's typically not outside. Although you could do some sort of lawn bowling, if you will, and that would be outside. So bottom line is this could be internal or external. Is there any ongoing or available research about this project? The answer is no. This project, what I need you to look at here is that this is a company who's been doing everything with like typical social rules and engage. Like, there's been no like thought about what do we do with a ball that nobody can touch now. How do we minimize the spread, the germ issue, and what are people in our community willing to do in terms of activities? The organization in your town in Austin, your recommendation could be, oh well, you should just go forward. Nobody seems to be worried about social distancing here. I've done observational research on this, and I've looked at your competitive set, and yeah, nobody's paying any attention to COVID-19, so I think you're good. You should be able to just continue along. Or, oh my gosh, I went to the park and like everybody was maintaining maximum distance apart from one another, and everybody's got a mask on, and yeah, I don't think that dodgeball league is going to happen. So you may want to think about badminton or some other soccer. Maybe just kicking the ball with your foot is the way to go for a while. And soccer, you can't touch the ball with your hands. So that is the realm of the clarifying questions. You've got some in-depth questions here. I'm gonna write out some answers to you, Chelsea. But I just wanted to kind of cover some of that and like give everybody here a bigger picture view of what this is all about, because it is one of those things where a lot of businesses, and now with the protests, a lot of businesses are trying to rethink not only COVID, but do I need to shut down for a while? Do I need, how do I handle a COVID outbreak and an upset social structure? Like, is everything just, do I push like in this case, do I push the season back a couple of weeks? I don't think anybody's wanting to play softball right now. These are all the concerns, and we talked about this, in the Intro to Product Design course. We talked about connected systems and how all these things can impact and agitate and benefit one another. And right now we have a lot of things that are being agitated by, the political strife in the streets is now agitating COVID. And the COVID backlash, oh man, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And it's only going to slow down businesses like this one. Like, where they may have been able to get back to work, in the fall. Now we're back in March. Like, we are back in March. And complete point of order, it wasn't just the protest that put everything back. It was the lame Memorial Day parties where everybody was hopping in pools and not maintaining social distancing and doing a bunch of dumb stuff. At least with the social distancing issues we've got now, they're like for a cause. Like, at least they're for something. Before it was just because people want to go to the pool. That's just unfortunate. So, and maybe in those communities where they were going to the pool, we're not worried about this. Maybe it's a green light, dude. But I think that what you'll find is, as we get into these questions, Chelsea, we will find that not only are there structural issues with maintaining the status quo, but there are really smart reasons to look into other places. There's growth opportunities, to be completely honest with you. Growth opportunities that will allow people to still socialize, still maintain that camaraderie, while also practicing safe distancing. So we'll come back to this because I owe you some direct answers on these items down below. Lisa's here, and she's at it Pooch Pivot and some progress bars, and she's going through some Squarespace stuff. She sent a survey over, though, and I want to take a look at this. So on the survey, so this is an area where we really need to be looking at qualifying answers, and qualifying answers give us some unique things that help us make basically better surveys. Let's think about this for a second. The way this is written right now, have you ever been in a car accident? No. Were you driving or a passenger? Immediately this is broken. We need conditional reasoning that says, if I say no, I immediately get bumped out. Let's see here. Did I, like none of the, like, if I say no, this needs to go immediately to a thank you for attempting to, thank you for your filling out the survey, and this is, we're really focused on people who have had a car accident, So, like bye, like some sort of like offboarding. But if they have had a car accident, and this needs to be, I should not be able to select both. I should be able to select one or the other. This is you need radio buttons, not check boxes. Were you driving or passenger? Okay, that's a great question. I was passenger. That's a question that's binary. You were either driving or a passenger. Even if you were in a self-driving car, you were then the passenger. If you were by yourself, you were probably driving, I would hope. Um, did you feel confident in how you handle? Did you feel confident on? Did you handle the situation confidently? Yes, no, somewhat. Um, I think the order should be like yes, somewhat, no. But I'll say no. Um, did you use a mobile app to help you deal with the accident? Yes. Um, did you have all the necessary documents that were required for you at the police report? No. How did you feel after the accident happened? Calm, upset, a lot of adrenaline. Very upset. Calm or very upset. I don't necessarily I don't necessarily know if this clarifies. I'll say very upset. There's still another question that we've got to answer here. And I'm going to submit this. I'm actually just going to submit yes and no here to see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so it submitted that response. I just told you both, yes, I've been in a car accident, and no, I haven't. So conditional reasoning is something that we have to get into the survey before you send this out. And conditional reasoning allows you to skip questions that do not apply. Once you have that set up, the next thing we need to do is we need to ask for permission to contact these people after they had, okay, so you've given me the answers, and fantastic. Do you live in, if this is supposed to be specific to Miami, do you live in the Miami area? Yes, no. Okay. If they say no, thank you very much. If they say yes, that's fantastic. Can I contact you? As this is an evolving project, would you like to be part of our research cohort group? Yes. Okay, awesome. Please give me your email address. Like, you need to collect. Everything about this is about building a cohort of possible testers for later. These are the people that you're going to interview. These people that are going to be testing your product. And we haven't asked for any information thus far. So we've got to do that. And if you're interested in knowing more about that, if I go to new Pragmatic user, or actually just surveys should get us right there. So this is the avoid unanswerable questions. If I talk about conditional logic right here. And conditional logic here's just they call it logic jump on type form. Are you a cat or dog person? Cat, dog question. Cat question. You get the idea. But there's some work that needs to be done there for the survey, Lisa. So I will send you some suggestions, and hopefully that will help you move forward. Let's jump over here to Eve. Eve has submitting progress so far with building components and instances. I'm still a bit unsure if I'm in the right direction as far as organization of components, but I organize things as it currently makes sense in the process. Now I'm finishing up the creating sorting components for plans page, and we'll move on to on the menu next. Would love to hear any thoughts or observations. Question: is there a way to make an image placeholder component where one can just swap out and add images within it? Yeah, that's been my experience too. Like if I want to switch out an image Let's try it though. Let's just go over to your project and see what you got. So here we are. I want to specifically look at your components. Okay, so on meals, this goes to the burgundy. So here's your title. Here's on the menu. Okay, so this is on the menu, and I just want to, yeah, it's a blurb with image centered. Yeah, I think what you're going to find is that this label description thing is going to cause trouble. But let's just come over and try to make use of that. Specific use components, icons, illustrations, blurbs, navigation footer. Oops, that's not helpful. Buttons, accordion. So I think you're doing a good job of breaking down the site, Eve. It's just continuing moving forward with that. You will find yourself saying, well, should I continue? Do I need to create a shape for that? And there's always a gray zone there, okay? Like you can create components for everything, and then you could create components for most of the things and then have a few customs. There is not a definitive, like, there's only this way, and anything that's not this way is the wrong way. I can't tell you that that's true at all. But what I am curious about is, so this, I'm gonna lock down. Oh, that's a frame for on the menu, and this is inside of that frame. Okay. So again, I think these need to just go. Like they just have to go. I also want to, I'm going to come over here to assets. I'm going to drag this one in because I just want to get a look at it. Okay. So this is an instance. And, I'm going to grab this image right here. I'm going to copy paste. I'm going to copy properties. I'm going to paste properties. And it placed it down there. I guess I have to be within that box. Okay. So there we're able to place within. I'm going to undo. And I want to call in a plugin. I want to be unsplash. And I'm going to say food. I'll say food. And we'll say it's, for lack of a better, we'll say it's a soup. And now that soup is in there, right? Now we go to an image, and we can crop it. And we can move that around. I'm not sure if I'm giving you the answer that you're looking for, Eve. But my suggestion would be that, these instances. Now I don't think you've detached these at this point. Like a detachment would be this, where it just turns it back into a frame. So it looks like you've got the ability to drop images in. I just think I do think the only thing that's going to get in your way is this label description. If that's not intended to be like somehow over the top, then I would just ditch this off. Like I would come over to components and just say, okay, I'm going to ditch that and that, and then when you come over to wireframes, those are all gone. So that's how I would fix that, but I'm going to undo that because I'm not sure that that's really what you want. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that I don't mess it up. And now they're back. But again, you can, provided that you've selected the shape. You can drop things in there. You can drop anything in there. Like I'll come up here and I'll just say place an image, and for lack of, I'll say taking notes. And this is way too big, but now I've got to select it and delete it. And now it's pasted in. But you have to, I think the thing that often gets lost there is, how do I get it in? How do I get it into the shape? And I'm specifically coming down and saying paste. Okay. All right. Let's see what other. I think that may have been your range of questions there, Eve. Yeah, swap image, create components, plans, and on the menu next. Let's take a look at plans real quick while we're here. I did like the fact that you found a subtle way to. I think you found a subtle way to kind of get into, like the rollovers here. You've got the common questions. I would like to see what happens when they expand. Additionally, like when I look at this, and I'm sorry I'm moving things around so fast, I do wonder if, like, this plans area, does this get stronger? Like right now plans feels like it's out on an island. Does this get, sorry. I'm going to ungroup that selection. Does this get stronger if we just make this all part of the same? Does this get stronger if we give this more space? I don't know. I'll flip it back around the other way. I do wonder if, like, does this get stronger if it's not white but the maroon? So when I look at it like this, it feels like it wants more space. But that's a bit of investigation that I would like for you to look at. And is this what really needs to come back? Instead of this dark yellow, is it this lighter color? And that lighter color goes up. And obviously these icons would go into the maroon, not white in that case, but just something to take a look at it. I know on the home page, it's got this yellow swatch here, or swath, and then you go back to the secondary yellows. Do you need more yellow? Do you need the pastel? I would just encourage some exploration around there. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up and shove off. I think we've gotten everybody. I owe some people some more specific feedback, written feedback, like Chelsea's questions. I really think require written feedback. So I'm going to jump into that now. For the rest of you, do me a favor. Go buy something in your neighborhood. Go down to the corner store and buy something at the local bodega if you happen to be in a place like New York. Go eat go get takeout at a local restaurant. all your uh, neighborhood stores need your support during these trying times. If COVID wasn't bad enough on them, the protests, the protests don't hurt anybody. It's the looting that hurts people, and I want to draw a direct line between protesters and looters. Protesters are fine. I have no problem with the protesters. I do have problems with opportunists that have nothing to do. They have no point of view on criminal justice reform, and they just want to come in and steal, TV, or light your neighborhood grocery store on fire. Don't have any love for that at all. So do yourself a favor. Do your neighborhood a favor. Go support your local businesses, and with that, I'm going to do the same. So for New Pragmatic, I am Chris Courtney, and I will chat with all of you later. Take care.